Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to a special edition of Mik'd. We are live from working some kinks out. We're live from the first pitch banquet here at the Crown Plaza. We are very excited to be here. We haven't done this yet. This is our first time being here at the first. Now, obviously not the first time at the first pitch banquet. We've obviously participated in this event before. It's only gotten bigger and bigger and bigger as the years have gone on. Obviously, coming off of a national championship. They're expecting a sellout, expecting, I think, the largest crowd ever in the history of the first pitch banquet. I know last year they had set the record as far as attendance goes. This year they're planning on beating that. We are excited. Lloyd is, we're dressed nice.
I know.
Listen, I got my jacket on, feel real nice. Jared looks very swaggy like he always does.
I don't know, listen.
Like you're swaggy. Listen, my wife says, she goes, what are you wearing? I said, I'm going to wear a jacket and slacks. She goes, what's Jared? She goes, never mind. He's going to look real nice and swaggy, huh? I was like, yep.
The question about it is, the wild card in this whole thing was we were not sure if Lloyd was going to come up to par and, just about until what, 2 o'clock? The answer to that was no. He was not going to be up to par.
There's somewhat of a dress code.
Showing up in sweats.
Lloyd was coming in with the mic'd up hoodie and a sweatpants and slippers. Potentially it was what he was going to show up in, and then we showed up to set up, which we prepared for this. And then he goes, what are y'all wearing?
You got your Mikie Loomis note card.
I was like,
there.
I'm wearing, yeah. No gum, though. No gum. I was like, well, you know what? I'm wearing a jacket, a sport coat, and some slacks. He goes, oh, shit, well, I'm glad I asked. And now you look great. You look nice.
Yeah, you look good.
You look really good.
I wasn't expecting colors either when you came out with this thing. I was expecting to go pretty traditional, and then Lloyd said,
nothing but traditional, dude.
See, whenever I do it right. I try to get up to the dimes.
I respect it.
From an old wedding party. They expect you to keep the suit.
You look great. You look great.
I respect
the beauty of being here is we are working, but we're also enjoying ourselves.
Jack
so
has aged
incredibly.
This is exactly why we have you come dressed.
That's it.
This is why we do this.
We have we're getting pictures taken. Look, we got drinks here. We got drinks flowing. We got a lot of old players that are going to be coming in and out. Coach Maneri is going to be. Oh no!
What a catch!
What a catch! Oh no!
That was an awesome. That was an all-timer.
That was great. Good hands.
That was really good.
That was an all-timer.
I think you're gonna turn it the other way, Jack. We already got one fumble for the camera.
No, put it at them. Point at them.
Point at me. I mean, that's how it works. No, keep going this way. Right there.
I got it. I can fix it from
there. We got it. We're
good
good.
to go.
We're good.
We're adjusting on the fly.
Listen, we're
make moves.
Hey, good catch.
We're a live show if you're wondering.
Yeah, we're live. We got a lot of former players that are going to come in and out.
That was not one of them.
That was not one of them. Ooh, that could have been bad.
But the catch is part of it. That's got to be a clip. You got to clip that.
It took a little bit longer for my liking for him to realize that the camera was actually falling. All right, but he caught it.
It took me a little bit longer to realize we were live when it was falling. Like, oh, this is actually going on.
Yeah, this is happening. This could ruin the whole show right now, actually, before we even start.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been over.
Coach Maneri is going to be on the show at some point in this 6 o'clock hour. It's a short show. Nice sprint, 6 o'clock to 6:45. Kevin Gausman, when he comes on, hopefully he can jump on the show. If not, he is going to be on the stage. Me and Mitch get the opportunity to get on stage and kind of interview him and have a conversation with him in front of the LSU faithful. So we're excited about that. This is kind of the official start of college baseball. Right?
It's for sure for LSU, that's for sure.
Especially for LSU. Obviously, there's a lot of hype around this team. There's a lot of energy around the program. They're coming off a national championship. Their 7th one in the history of LSU. A lot of people are excited for this team and to what it would look like. Lloyd, why are you laughing?
Because we almost just had a
we almost ruined the show. We almost ruined the show.
It was almost stage only.
Yeah, that would have been very bad. That would have been very bad. I'm glad we didn't do that, but we're gonna have a lot. Look, Dylan Cruz. Dylan Cruz is going to show up on our show. He gave me commitment. He said he's going to be here. He's going to look at. Oh my gosh, George Cruz, his dad, is wearing a nice LSU jacket. It's not just purple. It's got LSU. I saw him out there. You'll see him when he pops in. But what I was saying is, this LSU baseball team is primed to make another deep run. It's going to look a lot different, which is what I'm excited about. I'm excited to ask some of the guys around the program. Hopefully when Dylan gets in here, ask him about what he's looking forward to seeing this team, because it's going to be a different team. But I think we've talked about this a lot. I think the pitching staff, actually I know, the pitching staff is going to be the strength. That's going to be what they lean on, especially to start the season. And, when you have that, you have the ability to win a lot of games. So, Kevin Gausman, we talked about him coming on the show. He's been training around LSU. And I was talking to him last night, and he was telling me about some of these guys that he gets to see watch throw bullpens because he's out there training and doing things. He looked at me and he said, Mikey, I'm telling you this. Cam Johnson, that kid they brought in, he's like, the way he throws his fastball at 98 miles an hour with a lot of movement and sink, he's like, nobody's going to hit him. He is unbelievably filthy, which obviously is exciting for me. And then he's like, hey, Thatcher Hurd's touching 98, 99 right now.
Yeah.
And so hearing it from us, the runner-up of the Cy Young last year, Major League All-Star, for him to see that and be able to come back and tell you that, that shows you how special this team's going to be.
We've mentioned it like multiple times. It's not the first time. It's not the second time. We've mentioned it multiple times. The way the pitching staff was supposed to look in 2023, right? The team you thought you were going to see, the health that you thought you were going to see, how you thought this thing was going to roll out, and then those 3 to 4 huge injuries happen, and all of a sudden it kind of goes down to, hey, we got guys that have to step up. If 3 to 4 injuries were to happen again this year, there is still bodies to make that pitching staff absolutely explosive. And when we say the team is going to look different this year, that's what we mean, right? You're going to get something different offensively as well, but you have a staff that I can sit here and say, and I'm pretty sure that Mikey can sit here and say, I've never seen a college staff loaded the way that this staff should be loaded. And it's going to be pretty impressive and pretty special to kind of watch how this thing unfolds.
When I say I don't think that there's a guy on there in their staff that throws under 93 miles an hour,
it's a different day.
I mean, that is pretty special.
It's a different day.
You have guys that are going to be pitching this year that were redshirt last year and did not throw.
Yeah.
That are going to be throwing 98 miles an hour.
They're going to roll out. I can promise you right now, they're going to roll out there on a Tuesday this year, on a Wednesday this year, and be up 11-7. Or I'm sorry. They'll be up 11-2, and it'll be the 8th inning. And the guy that comes in will have very little time on the year, and he will be sitting there throwing absolute pellets.
You know what that reminds me of? The old school. I say old school, like 9, 10, 11. Really 10, 11, 12, 13 Vanderbilt teams.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you're like, oh, they're beating this team by 12 runs, and they're bringing a guy in who you look at his stats, he's like, it's in April, and he's got 6 1/3 innings sex. He's got 6 1/3. He's got 6 1/3.
Lloyd's awake.
Lloyd's awake. That's what you got to do. 6 1/3 innings pitched, and you look, and he's throwing 98 miles an hour, and he has a banger of a breaking ball, and he's striking out the side, and you're like, how is this guy not – how does he only have 6 innings pitched? It's because of the depth. And sex, because of sex maybe.
Electric sex.
And so you're going to have the opportunity of have that same type of depth on this pitching staff, which is what I'm very excited about. Walking in, you see a bunch of guys like Gavin Dugas is walking in, and let me get him on the show whenever he comes over here, if he can look at us and see us. I think some of these guys are trying to ignore us, but they're not going to ignore us for long.
No.
We're going to get him here.
Thank God I
walking in,
up. There's so many pictures
I told you,
being
dude.
taken.
I told
would have been a bum.
Walking in, I saw a bunch of obviously the players are here. They're dressed in their jerseys, and look, I'll talk to Paxton Kling for a little bit. Obviously, passing by, he looks great. Obviously, he's gained some strength. He's gained some size. He looks really good. I think the offense, and we've preached this, we've talked about this a lot, the offense is going to continue to get better, right? Yeah. It's going to take a little time. They just need a little experience to have some at-bats underneath their belt and kind of understand what their role is, and then I think that they're going to excel. But the beauty of it is they don't have to do it early on because they have the pitching staff to carry them. So that's what I'm looking forward to. This is always exciting, man. You leave this and you're like, damn, I'm ready for this baseball season.
It's a good day because it's there's not many places in the country, let's be honest. Like there isn't many places in the country that you get to see people excited about baseball season before Major League Spring Training starts.
Right.
And this is one of the very few places where you see people like, oh wow, like it's baseball season's here.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool because now you get to see people coming out and you realize that the calendar has turned. It is now 2024. The cold weather is here.
It is
cold
here.
fronts are here. Baseball's right around the corner.
Now, Listen, if y'all are listening to this and y'all are upset because of all the noise, I'm sorry. That's part of it. It's a live show. We're in the VIP room. There's a lot of energy happening here. Just deal with it. Put the speakers up loud.
There's a bar
Why are
in
you
here.
laughing over there?
Listen, there's a bar in here, so you just got to understand what time.
What do you expect?
You got to explain. You got to understand what time it is. There's a bar in here. The sun's down now. That's what you got to get.
Look, Coach is doing his politicking right now. Coach Maneri.
Oh yeah.
Politicking before he gets up on the show. He's doing his thing. It's one thing he's always been good at.
Never miss there.
Never missed.
Never miss there.
Paul could run for public office, I would imagine. Nice sweater vest underneath the suit.
Our producer's
Feeling
unbelievable.
really good. He's producing.
He does some special. No, he's
not.
not.
No, he's not producing. Actually, he's actually doing. He's getting some liquid courage actually. And look, that's part of the show.
Mid-show, he's up for liquid courage.
This is part of the show. Listen,
2 minutes before the show, we can't find him.
2 minutes before the show, he was going to take a leak.
That's what we get.
And so, look, this is part of it. Look, now he realized this is the better idea. The line's long. Let me go get somebody to get my drink for me.
Good God.
So you can go, welcome back.
Look, I'm an equal opportunity employer. I don't want to put that on me.
Unbelievable.
Welcome back to the show.
Have to go stand in line. I thought I could swing through.
You're unbelievable.
Line's long.
You didn't even think to, look at him and say, hey.
I texted him. He didn't text me back. So I was like, well, I'll just do it myself.
God.
Well, there's a lot of people doing a lot of different things. I would like for somebody just to walk our way, but I think that people are intimidated right now. I don't really – look, I tried to get Jamie Tutko, a video guy, on the show.
Coach.
He didn't want to do it. Now he's Coach is still shaking hands.
We don't have him
babies.
hooked up either, headphones-wise.
Lloyd, give me some. What are you excited about for the year?
This has been
Is this your first time?
This is my first time I've ever been here. Last year I got the kibosh. I was supposed to do it with Skip and Cano when they were like, we're going to get dressed down to the nines, get everybody ready. They had guest bookers and everything lined up. And at the last second, I had to do something. I forgot. But I think Stewie ran it, and it seemed like it went well. So this is my first time here. I've never even thought about this being an event because I've never seen anything like this before.
An event.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an event. You have a live auction, silent auction.
And this is just the right side. It's not even a lot. This is an event. Yeah.
This is even the auction side.
Yeah.
Speaking of the auction, there is the silent auction is up until 8:30, I believe. Let me get the actual.
I think it's on the Twitter.
It is on our Twitter. It is the live source. Oh, maybe we can get
the absolute king of the run.
The Don.
Of the ship. How we doing?
How you doing? You want to jump on?
I feel like I've been pretty busy.
Yeah, LaFondas. Yellow margarita? No, virgin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We got a lot. Look, we got the who's who here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana here. But listen, the silent auction is up until 8:30. It's on our Twitter. It's pinned to the top of our Twitter.
There is a lot of great stuff there too.
A lot of great stuff. You have to download the Source app. I don't want to give you all the details because we're here. Obviously, we don't have all of our equipment to just put it on there and type it, but it's on our Twitter. You have the link. Click on the link. Go out there and bid on some silent auction items. There's a lot of really, really cool things out there.
We ducked our head in there earlier, and it's actually impressive what they got in there. So,
you don't have to worry about getting anything from me and Jerry. We're not out there.
No.
But you got Aaron Nola out there.
I'm not out there.
A lot of other way more important people out there. Yeah.
You got Dylan Cruz out there that's got some stuff. You have a lot of. Look, I saw some old school Billy Cannon helmets out there. Really, really, really cool stuff. So go out there and put some money. Look, this money's not just going to the LSU program. It's going to the players.
Yeah.
It's going to bettering their experiences here. And if you want to get Coach, ready for you whenever you're ready.
Alabama could never.
Alabama could never.
Do we need to have
could never.
No, it should be able to. As long as we can hear you all.
Welcome, Coach. Coach Maneri, National Championship Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you doing? You can hop in wherever you want. Look, if you want to spin the mic and you can sit in that one, whichever one you want to do.
I think,
There you go. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. You can hear it. As long as you can hear us.
I can hear you, Mike.
We can hear you.
Hey, Coach.
Evening, guys.
Literally 365 days ago, 75% of this table was in another country doing something different right now.
Yeah.
It's an anniversary.
I know that. I texted him first thing this morning.
Yeah.
I do have a question. Do you have the anniversaries logged in your phone, or are you on social media and you can tell?
Oh, I keep them in my phone.
Look at that.
Don't I wish you a happy birthday all the time?
You did.
Of course. I keep up with my boys. You know
I love
that.
that. I love that.
You know that.
I love
that.
Hey,
by the way, I just got back from Shreveport. I was up in Shreveport this weekend. I spoke at a couple of first pitch dinners Friday night and Saturday night, and drove back last night to be here for today. But spent most of yesterday afternoon with Austin Ross.
Oh, wow.
So he
Wow.
wanted me to say hello to you guys.
Yeah.
And, he's doing great. And we spent, a few hours together, and that made the trip worthwhile
Nice.
for me.
Absolutely. You got
Nice.
players everywhere.
Nice.
You got people everywhere. Coach, this event, right, has grown, I feel like, exponentially over the years. When you came in here, it was one of the things that
We started it, Mikey.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
2008 was the first year we did it.
Yeah.
I actually had started a dinner like this up at Notre Dame in my last 5 years there. Of course, we didn't have the fan base up at Notre Dame like we have here at LSU. So I was looking for something to try to, create interest about the baseball program. There were people who lived in South Bend, Indiana, didn't even know we had a baseball team, So I decided to have a first pitch dinner in late January, early February. Well, there's 2 feet of snow on the ground, and
Right.
temperatures are like 3,
Right.
And I told people, I want you to come to this event as though you're going to the ballpark. Wear jeans and
Right.
clothes
Yeah,
that you're
yeah.
going to wear at the ballpark. If you wear a tie, we're going to cut it off. And we served ballpark food. We had hawkers running around, like popcorn.
Yeah.
They
Oh, that's
throw
awesome.
bags.
Okay.
And, when they bought a ticket to the event, it was also a season ticket to the baseball games. So it encouraged people to come out to the games, and it was a huge success. I had Tommy Lasorda the first year speak, and then Jim Hendry, who was the GM of the Cubs. And then we had John Grisham, the writer, and then we had Roger Clemens and Brad Lidge.
John Grisham threw a hot dog at you.
Yeah, that's right. You know that story. So it was
mistake.
such a big success. By the end of the time, the last couple of years, we had like 1,700 people.
Wow.
So when we came down to LSU the next year, and Skip was telling me that nobody gives away their season tickets, but that the attendance at the games was really down the last couple of years before I got here. And of course, our first year, Jared was on that team, knows that we were young, we were thin in a lot of ways, and we struggled through that first year. We didn't have the benefit of a transfer portal back in those days. But then I knew we had a good team in 2008, and I said, we're going to do this preseason dinner to try to get the fans re-engaged and get them enthused about it. And our coaching staff organized the whole thing.
Wow.
So it was a lot of work.
Wow.
And we did it on a financial loss. Mm-hmm. And so what happened was Janice Guicho came to me after we went to Omaha in 08 and said, let us, meaning the Bengal Bells, let us do the banquet next year. And you don't have to be so involved, and spend time on it. And so I let them take it over. And of course, we won the national championship that year. And so from then on, it just was a huge event. And it was a great way to get the fans excited for the new season. And fortunately, we had, even though that was our only national championship, we had a lot of great seasons, as you guys know. And, the fans kept coming, and we had a lot of fun with it.
But it's funny you mentioned that. We were literally just talking about it. This is one of the few places in America, really, in my opinion, when it comes to baseball, and that means Major League Baseball, minor league baseball, college baseball. When it comes to baseball, this is one of the few places in America where this early you're able to realize, like, oh, wow, it's baseball season because of the success that this event has had. Would you agree with that?
Oh, Jared, come on. Listen, there's a lot of great baseball programs out there now, and a lot of them are trying to copy what we do here at LSU. They have first pitch dinners now all over the country. We were one of the first to do it. And, the other teams are building great stadiums and drawing people to the games. But there's just something about LSU. As you guys know, we have that it factor. Mm-hmm. And it's been so many years, way back to when Skip came here and transformed the program. And then, like to think that we maintained it as a pretty good program through the 15 years. And now Jay, of course, has taken over and wins the national championship in his second year. So, there's always a lot of enthusiasm around the baseball program. No matter what the event is, no matter what the event
Coach,
is.
is it okay if Kevin sits next to you?
We just all got distracted because the great Kevin Gausman just appeared.
Smells like money in here.
Somehow Baton Rouge Houdini's here.
Yeah, Kevin Gausman, one of the great pitchers
best.
in LSU baseball history. I think he's the featured speaker tonight,
Yes,
if I'm not
we
mistaken.
get to interview him on stage.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to interview him. It's
Yeah.
not going to be a speech.
It's going to be us. It's going to be a conversation about him.
Yeah.
But
That's a better way to do it anyway.
I agree. You mentioned Jay and national and what LSU has built, right? Obviously, this event in particular has grown and grown. Last year, I think they said it was the most attended event since they've had it, right? Which you would imagine as it continues to grow and get popularity. This year, they're coming off a national championship, and Jay is doing something he's never had to do in his career. Is come and coach a team after winning a national championship,
Right.
being a defending national champion. You've done that.
Right.
It is a different animal. It is a different type of mentality you have to go into. You could bring back 90% of your team, but every year the team's different. And
Yeah.
you've got to figure out how to structure that team, build that chemistry.
How to cuss
How
them.
did you do it? What is something that you, like, if you could give a coach a tip, how do you go into the next year being the defending national champions and kind of trying to manage that team the different way?
Well, I'm probably not the best expert to talk about it because I didn't do it very well the very next year,
Well,
you know.
we were good for a while. Then we got some injuries. It was, bad luck.
Well, a lot of factors happen. Anthony Renato and Matty Ott were All-Americans the year we won the national championship. And then Anthony pitched opening night and then missed the next 2 months of the season with a sore elbow. Matty Ott didn't pitch as well as he had pitched the year before. They kind of had a scouting report on him. And, whereas he used to use that running fastball to get ahead and then throw that nasty slider to put him away, the next year they knew what he was going to do, and so they game planned him better. So now he starts trying to use his slider early in the count because they're jumping on fastballs, and they got him out of his game, and it took him a while to kind of be able to get back in. We also had a weakness at third base the next year. We lost so many guys off our 2009 team, Mikey. The guys sitting next to you, of course, Jared and DJ LeMayu and Ochenko and Schimpf and all those guys. And we just were that one infielder short.
Yeah.
And, we had a great double play combination in NOLA and Hanover, but third base was a weakness. And it just seems when you have that one weak area, the ball always seems to find that guy, And I think that had an effect on our team. But, Jay's got a great pitching staff this year. And even though they lost a lot of position players, they were so deep last year that guys like Paxton Clean and Jared Jones and Brady Neal and, some other guys, Josh Pearson's back. They're gonna have a good core of guys that got a lot of playing time last year. And then, of course, it's a whole different ball game with this transfer portal now. If you have an area that you really need to fill, you just go out and get a veteran player from another school. And so, I really don't see much of a drop-off with the team this year.
Right.
And I think they'll be right back in there competing again.
It's a completely different structure of the team too. A lot of arms, a lot of depth on the pitching on the mound, and then some young guys in the lineup. It's going to take some time for them to kind of figure some stuff out, right? Well, that's okay because you have the arms, hopefully to.
Well, I think their whole rotation is going to be transfer players. With the kid from Alabama and of course they got Hurd back, and then the other kid from UCLA.
Yep.
And then they got, I watched this lefty from Xavier, and Vanderbilt's season last year. He looked like Chris Sale out there, I mean, they just got, the transfer portal and the NIL, it really has changed the face of college baseball in a big way, And Jay's very good at going out and identifying the transfers and getting the right guys to fill the needs that we have here.
Coach, we've talked about it a bunch of times. I like bringing it up again because I like for people to hear a different perspective. That's not just us, right? Like, that's the whole reason of having people on the show. When you speak about the pitching staff that this team has this year, is it very often you see staffs that are that deep, that are that quality? Is it just us, or are we crazy?
Jared, it's not just our staff, but arms in general across the country. I've never seen so many guys throwing 95 to 100 miles an hour. I remember when Alex Lang was a freshman, and the first pitch that he threw of his college career registered 95 up on the board. And And I remember there was a buzz in the stadium because of that first pitch. I think the only pitcher that I ever saw throw that hard was the guy that just sat down next to me, Kevin Gausman. You know, it was, but now it just seems like everybody's
it's
throwing 95
now, right?
to 100 miles an hour. And, you know, I bet we got 10 or 12 guys that are throwing that hard on this staff.
Yeah.
You know, when Kevin was here, it was a rarity, you know, and, you know, obviously, you know, he was a dominating pitcher here and was a very high draft choice. And
He's okay. He's okay right now.
He's done okay so far.
Well, one of these years he'll get over the hump. One of these years he'll get over the hump and win the Cy Young instead of finishing second.
He just likes to be on the podium. He doesn't want to be on the top of it.
Happy to be here.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on the show. I want to keep you on the whole time. We only got 15 more minutes.
Yeah, no.
And shut it down.
Hey, Gausman's here. I'm old news. I'm out of here.
Because we're gonna be in there. We get to go interview. Maybe have a couple little jabs on the stage with Kevin. You listen. I'll never forget. And I'm gonna tell the story, but I'm gonna tell it in the most G-rated version, and nothing was done wrong. When Kevin came on his visit, I'll never forget. You brought me and Anthony in your room, and you said, "Hey, listen. I don't care what you got to do. Within the rules, we have got to get him here. Do not let him leave here without committing here."
Did I say that
you said, and you know what? The next day
Don't
he
let
committed.
Gausman know I told
And
him
he committed.
that.
We need to commit.
We got him. We did.
And Kevin, you have to promise me when you're up there talking, you're not going to tell bad stories about me, okay? You're not going to talk about when you got mad at me at Vanderbilt, please.
Even if you do talk about it, he doesn't remember it.
That's it.
That is the one trick we got. If you tell one, he's like, "Oh, well,
That didn't happen.
I didn't know all these years that he was mad at me until one day we were talking. And he said, "You remember when you called like 3 pickoff plays in a row at first base when I had 2 strikes on a hitter and 2 outs?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, I do remember that." You guys are all great. I love you all. You know that.
I love
and
you. Appreciate
let's have
it.
some fun tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Quick hockey change.
That's so funny.
I didn't say
Quick
that. I would
change.
never do that.
It's getting loud in here.
KG, I appreciate you, dude.
It's getting loud in here.
Thanks for bringing my wife here. That's very nice. That's very nice of you.
Pick up all the stragglers.
Yeah, I appreciate
Good to see
that.
you today. Alive and well. Doing
Yeah.
it.
When was
You too,
that?
man.
Were you at
Looking
the
good.
first? You were the first pitch banquet last year, right?
Yeah, I've come here every year for.
Look at that.
Every year I get invited.
It's
you know?
and I think it's an open. It
Other
should be
Cy
an
Young
open.
years.
All the alumni should have an open invite.
Should
I think
be
that's
open.
kind of the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're excited to have you on the show. Obviously, we're excited to have. Can't believe they let us 3 idiots on the stage at the
Emphasis
same
on
time
one.
and get the mic and actually lead the conversation.
they're giving
They
us the
trust
floor.
It's scary. They trust us enough to like fill some time.
Which is great. I'm looking
It's good.
for. Look, I
Scary,
came
though.
prepared. Look, I got notes on my cards
I love it.
and everything. When this started, we're talking with Coach. When this started, Coach started this in 08, right? And so 08 happened, and 09 we won it, and every year got bigger and bigger. And you got here in 11, and then 12, and then you come back now, and it's the biggest it's ever been, right? How cool is that to kind of see the progression? One, you already knew what LSU was, but the progression of the kind of the new age of baseball and how the program has continued to grow, even within the last 15 years.
Well, I think, honestly, me being an outsider in 09 and then coming here after you guys won it, you guys kind of created that stepping stone to the past and the present, right? So I think if it wasn't for you guys, maybe this wouldn't be as big of a deal as it is. And obviously last year them winning helps. But, I think it's when you think of college baseball, you think of LSU and Texas and Arizona State,
Right.
Florida State, these are the teams that you just think of automatically.
No doubt.
The power schools that if you've been going to Omaha, you're used to seeing those colors, just about every year.
Yeah.
So, and as you guys know more than me, when LSU plays in Omaha, it's not just like a casual show up of fans. They take over Omaha.
Yeah.
And everyone in Omaha who isn't LSU fans, loves when LSU is in the College World Series
No
because
doubt.
they bring in so much business and
It's fun.
the
We're
people are
entertaining.
great,
Food,
the fans
alcohol.
are great. People will drive their RVs, from Baton Rouge up to Omaha just to go to the games and just to be there to support. So
You're looking at one that did
it's
it.
cool.
We did it for a
did
bachelor
it. He
party
did
in
it
Omaha.
twice.
Then I went back and on a different a little bit.
You got you remember John Peterson?
Yeah.
So John's got a little prop plane,
Oh, wow.
and he flew Lloyd up there at the for the championship weekend. We didn't even get to go.
We didn't go back. Lloyd
Lloyd
went
went
back. We
back.
didn't get to go back. There was no
kinda
seat for
bougie
us.
right there.
There was no seat for us. There was a
Yeah,
seat for
yeah,
Lloyd.
Yeah, no
A lot
doubt.
of people driving up in an RV. You know?
Lloyd's got headphones on.
Yeah. Hey, I did the drive from Baton Rouge all the way to Omaha, and then I was thinking, why don't I class it up a little bit and go from Baton Rouge? I drove to Texas, and then PJ did all the way to Omaha, so I went back twice. City loves it. A lot of jello shots.
Looks good.
What a life.
Yeah.
Hey, you speak about
Still with
the
my
College
mom.
World Series and what they did last year. From a kind of 30,000-foot view, because obviously you're playing every day, right? Like you're playing big league baseball. You are literally busy every day. What was that run like for you and how you were able to kind of follow it and how you saw it? Because a lot of people don't know, like there's still a lot of pride, school pride, and everything that goes on in Major League and baseball
In
clubhouses.
college baseball, like when in the World Series, college baseball's on
Oh, yeah.
in the
Oh,
clubhouse.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's what everybody's watching.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're lucky enough to have your alma mater there, everybody in the clubhouse knows that.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't let that be unheard. And so, you know, it definitely helped having a guy like Skeens and Cruz
Yeah.
to where I'm watching
Yeah.
these guys. I'm like, hey, this is what we do at LSU. You know, like we got the number 1 and the number 2 pick. This is kind of, you know, but that's the way it should be. Like these guys, you know, and they'll notice when they get into pro ball, just like you guys did, the amount of support that you get from being an LSU Tiger.
It's everywhere.
It doesn't matter if you played one game or,
Right.
or 100, you know, like
You're
you're
part
going to
of
be
the
warming
family.
up, you're going to hear Go Tigers or you're going to hear Roll Tide, you know, like
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
one or the other.
Yep.
And so, but it's a cool fraternity. And, you know, I know the SEC guys that are in the big leagues, you know, we kind of all know each other and we kind of, that's our own fraternity, right? It's like SEC guys look out for each other and once the fall happens, it's great because football starts. So
Right.
you have that to talk
No
about
doubt.
too. So, you know, it's definitely makes it cool.
We got people walking in front of cameras. There's no feel around here, but
Feels low. Feel low.
you're working out right now at Alex Box, right? Like you train at LSU before you go and play pro ball, right? That's kind of like the norm. So you're around these guys day in and day out. You're around a lot of these new arms. We talked a little bit about this last night. Did you get to see them throw bullpens? You get to see them work out and do their things, go through their work. Have you seen some guys that have been like, wow, these guys are pretty impressive?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been able to see too much this year just because of the time frame. You know,
Yeah.
I work out early in the morning and now they start class. Which
Right,
is,
right.
You know, they work out in the
Full
afternoon,
adult.
but yeah, I mean, the biggest thing you notice right off the bat is like I go in there and I'm looking up at all these guys and I'm
They're
like, man,
huge.
these guys are huge. Like, you know, I feel like I'm like the guy that's in college and they're the big leaguers, and so it's a little humbling for sure. But yeah, I mean, you talk to guys and talk to, you know, I see a lot of the catchers and talk to them because they'll catch my bullpens, and just talking to them about the arms that they have. You know, it's 98, 99 with
Sink.
sink and from the left side, and there's a lot of different looks. And
I think that's the one guy. We talked about a little bit about Cam Johnson, and I know you haven't seen a ton of them, but you were like the little that I have seen of him, he's throwing 98 with some serious sink, and it's pretty impressive.
yeah, and I mean, Thatcher Hurd, you know,
Yeah.
if he has an extra 2, 3, 4 miles an hour on his fastball that was already really good with the
luck.
curveball that he has, you know, there's no reason why he can't step in and be not necessarily Skeens-esque, but
I mean,
you know,
touching 98, 99.
they need a Friday night guy,
Yeah.
and you know, I think they're looking to him to have a good year, and so, you know, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Like Coach said, it used to be there was 1 or 2 guys on the team that, you know, could kind of really let it eat, and there was usually something missing if they could throw that hard.
Right.
You know, they couldn't throw strikes,
Right.
or they didn't have any other secondary pitch. Now these guys are so fine-tuned, you know, like it's crazy. Now how they will react in big situations, you don't know yet.
Yeah.
But the stuff is there and the talent is there, and they're so prepared. You know, some of these guys, you watch their pre-throw, pre-bullpen stuff, and it's like, man, I didn't start doing that until I was
Right.
in my 5th year in the big leagues.
Right.
Like they're just so, you know, so fine-tuned, and we just can't that's just the way sports are now, though. It's only getting better, faster, hitting the ball harder, further. You know?
Is that something right now that continues to amaze you with baseball? Like you said, like you've always been a big arm, high velocity guy. That's always been a part of your game, right? But just like you said, much like in college, obviously it's on a bigger scale when you get to Major League Baseball. But even in Major League Baseball, even in minor league baseball, as you go through pitching staff for pitching staff, that wasn't always a thing where you basically sat there and looked down the line and everybody's sitting 95 plus. How much of a change is that in baseball now for you to sit there and kind of like see that's pretty much the run of the mill and that's what you're going to get? And how much has that changed from when you got in baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I think about even when I first got called up to the big leagues, you think about the starters that were around the league. If a starter threw over 95, you usually knew the guy's name because he was a stud, right? And now, you know, the average fastball in the big leagues is 94. So it's like on any given night, and it's just like Coach said, it was the same way when I first got to the big leagues. There was maybe one guy on a team that was like close to triple digits.
Right.
Now you're seeing 98, 99 from somebody
6
or a
nights
starter
a week.
every night, you know? And if they don't have something like that, then they got a crazy
the other stuff's nuts.
arm slot or like something else to make up for the velo that they don't have.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Right. Going into this season, right now, we're going to kind of fast shift gears to you, pro ball, what you got going on. Obviously, you're coming off probably your best season of your career. Runner-up in the Cy Young. You've pitched since you've been in Toronto. You have, to me, in my mind, outperformed your contract, right? Like, gave you a great deal, but then you've pitched even better than that, right? A lot of expectations. How do you approach? Look, you go there. There's a lot of pressure, right? Like, hey, I signed this deal. I know I'm good enough for it, but like, you sign this deal, you have a lot of eyeballs on you. How do you kind of take that pressure and maximize your ability to pitch and become better, and not let that pressure eat you up?
I think the biggest thing is, you know, I've been humbled a lot in this game, and so I know that you can't ever take your foot off the gas pedal.
Right.
You know, because when you do, there's someone there chomping at the bit to get a start, you know, or even get the chance to be a big leaguer. And so you have to get better every year, and you have to, you know, do your due diligence to know that, you know, the things that you're bad at, you got to be able to get better at them, or else those things are only going to be magnified, you know? And it's not just things on the field, you know? If you're not buttoned up in your everyday life, that'll show up in the big leagues for sure.
Yep.
And so, you know, those things
They
add
try
up.
to fuck you with the hitch.
The more that you can...
He said they try to fuck you up with the rules, all the new rules.
Yeah. They're always coming at something, you know?
But you know what? Hey, it's fine. I'll just adapt, and I'll have the best year of my career. No big deal. I guess a spin-off of that question, right? So, like, obviously, Toronto is a place where they're trying to win, right? You know how it is. Canada, it's the only team, it's the only professional baseball team in
the national team
of Canada.
Yeah.
You win there, you can go anywhere in that country and anything can happen, right? And they want to win, and they're trying to win. Last year, you had the pieces I felt like to win. Winning's hard. Winning a championship is hard, right? LSU won one last year. Now they have to come back again and try to do it all over again. It's a whole different team every year. There's a different. You can bring back 95% of your team, but every year it's different. The chemistry's different. The way that the feel of the team is different. How do you go in there? Like, so y'all are trying to go in there with the expectations of winning, right? Being a guy who's a veteran now, and a leader on the team, and a guy who people are going to look at for advice, how do you go and you kind of navigate through, hey, how do we build this camaraderie? How do we build this chemistry? Because that's a big thing as long as it's 162 games.
Yeah.
You're with these dudes all the time. You have to have the chemistry. If you don't, it doesn't matter. You're not going to win.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is trying to get everybody on the same page, you know, with what our identity is, and you kind of try to figure that out the first couple weeks of spring training. You know, and your identity might shift as the season goes on, you know, because you start doing a celebration every time a guy hits a home run, and then the home runs aren't coming very often. You got to switch it up, you know, and so you got to be able to adapt. But I'd say the biggest thing is getting around people away from the field. getting guys together in your hotel rooms to play cards or whatever, because as much time as we spend together at the field, we're all getting ready to do our job. So
you're starting to sound Canadian, Okay,
yeah,
then.
Hey, and so
Get a couple Molsons.
couple 2 trees. But yeah, I mean, all those little things that you can do, the team dinners, we do starters dinners a lot, take the catchers out to dinner. Those things actually add up. They kind of seem like eyewash when you're doing it, but they can kind of help in the long run to kind of build a good relationship with the team. And but it's hard. I mean, when you're in college, everybody's around the same 2-3 year age gap, right? There's some guys who might have a serious girlfriend, but for the most part, everybody's kind of in the same part in their life.
Right.
You get to the big leagues, you got guys who are coming up at 19 years old, with millions of dollars in their pocket, #1 prospects, and then you got guys who are, are in early 30s, just, signing 1-year deals every year, trying to kind of keep their career going. So it's kind of hard to get everybody on the same page, but, the more that you can, and, honestly, you keep the wives happy. You keep the wives happy and keep the family happy, the kids.
Smart man.
Happy wife, happy life.
Then you're going to run into less problems, and so that's one thing I've learned, but
What's been something you've been able to adjust in your game, going from the younger kid to, I've got a little bit of years, or I've got some time under my belt, to not even an older statesman, right? Like, people know you've been in the league for a while. What is something that has changed in your approach to not only your teammates, but like the game every day, of how you try to go about the things that you do every day?
Yeah, I mean, really, it's just about learning yourself, For me, it's my career really took off when I started throwing my best 2 pitches a lot more, which sounds very
simple.
Sounds very simple, but when you're in the baseball world, as you guys know, people are always going to try to get you to go into some type of mold of what they think you are, what player you are most like. How can we put this guy in a situation? And they want to help you, but they might not know what works for you. So for me, my career really took off when I figured out what works for me, and not necessarily trying to be anything different than I am. And it's actually made my other stuff better because I'm almost an outlier.
Yep.
No other starting pitcher throws a split as much as me.
Yep.
I'm a 2-pitch starting pitcher, which
is a rarity.
Yeah.
But yours are superb.
Well, I think, too, with the secondary pitch being one that, 98% of the league doesn't throw.
Right.
Yeah.
Being my split.
Yeah.
And so I think that definitely has helped me over the years. Whereas now everybody has a plus slider. Yeah. So even if I had a plus slider right now, which I don't, I would love to make things a lot easier. It would still be hard because they're seeing that type of spin every night.
Yeah.
Every guy has great sliders, great breaking pitches now. And the more that I've kind of honed in on who I am, of trying to pitch north-south and not east and west like everybody else does, my strengths have kind of shined more and more.
Do you want me to cut that so nobody hears him?
What?
I don't want anybody to get the strategy of what he's
No,
doing.
he knows.
No. He knows.
Yeah. He knows.
The scouting reports at this point, they get really in-depth.
Yeah,
they know, and they still can't touch it.
It doesn't matter because, hey, this is my best pitch. Here it comes.
Yeah.
Good luck. That's the way it works. I appreciate you, dude. This is a nice little dry run before we get up on the stage.
Hey, this is us right here.
Yeah.
Look, we're this little test run.
Just get a little loose up. Appreciate you, dude. Listen, we told you this was going to be a sprint. We appreciate you tuning in to a special edition of Mik'd Up. There's a lot of other people that I want to bring on. They gave us a strict 45 minutes. We're going to go over that.
We've gone over
We have gone over that.
We got them.
You have to pay for another dance.
If you are not here at the First Pitch Banquet, we're happy to bring you some of the coverage from the First Pitch Banquet. The silent auction is still available until 8:30.
Yeah.
It is pinned on our Twitter. Please go look on Mik'd Up Twitter. Go out and make some bids. And I wanted to get you on, but they gave us a hard deadline.
We got a hard out today.
Go on for a couple minutes. Go on for 5 minutes.
Get a quick 5 from
Let's
G.
get a quick 5 from the G-Man, huh? Look at that.
We're on Louisiana time,
We're on Louisiana time. I like the jacket.
How we doing today?
How you like
Jacket
that
fits.
jacket?
I like the jacket.
Yeah.
It's clean.
Give a shout out to Richard Lipsy and his daughter Laurie.
There
This
you go.
is their
There you go.
clothing company, Haspel.
Haspel.
And they do a lot of cool velour. I have like about 6 different colors.
I like that
Red,
one.
green,
I like that
blue,
one.
black. And there, you saw see the little tiger stripe in it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
You got a little tiger
The
stripe,
subtleties.
little subtle
The
fade in the
subtleties.
background, you know?
I like that.
So it's good.
It's
so
good.
how are y'all?
We're good. We're enjoying.
Good.
Thanks for coming on the show.
I know.
We're
I was
happy.
hoping to bring a Cardo out here, but he got stuck in a little mud hole while duck hunting.
Yeah.
It's about a 2-foot hole, and he dropped in, and we couldn't find him.
That's a shame.
That was this morning.
It's a shame.
He said
He's
2
out
foot,
there.
we couldn't find him.
He needs to put if he puts the cowboy collar on, maybe he could get out of there. You know what I mean?
So here we are, baseball.
Baseball's here.
It's baseball season, obviously, coming off a national championship.
Yeah.
This event started, Maneri was told us, he was the one who brought it. He started in 08. And every year it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
And obviously this year it's going to be the biggest it's ever been. How awesome is it from your perspective? You've been a lifelong LSU fan. You've been in Baton Rouge forever. You saw basically the baseball program go from nothing to something.
Oh, no. So,
and how cool is this?
Yeah, so what jumps out at me right away, first thing, most impressive thing so far for me tonight, probably the most impressive thing. I look up and there's Dylan Cruz across the room. I'm like, son of a gun. And then George Cruz, 10 minutes later, walks up. I'm like, he's a character.
His jacket may be better than
That's
yours.
right. You can barely notice him, right? But the fact that those guys, they're done, right?
Yeah.
And they're here. And I'm like, man, it's so good to see you. He goes, shit, we're going to be around, man. We're not going anywhere. This is home for us now. And it's part of their makeup now. So when you got a future celebrity, who knows how great he's going to be, but by all indications, he could be world-class for a long time.
Yeah.
For him to be here tonight, what does that say?
Yeah, and I talk about that a lot, right? Because we play a lot of guys that are from New Jersey or from California or from South Florida, and all those guys come here and they go play pro ball, and they all come back.
That's right.
And now they live here, and it's like it's just the allure of Louisiana.
That's what this is really about. It transcends how many national championships.
Yep.
There's a family or a community of players, right, and family, and it's just different.
Yeah.
And when you're from South Louisiana, right, we're just different with our family.
Absolutely.
And that just kind of exported itself to the LSU baseball community.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on it. From what this thing started as to where it is here today, when you walk in here today, the athletic director here is here, assistant athletic directors are here. Everyone's here to where before, when this thing was here, it was literally just baseball players.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much currently baseball players.
Short little story. When Skip first came here, my daddy and Skip went to high school together in Florida. Right?
Okay.
Skip shows up, right? We have no pedigree, no history, no nothing. Nobody was coming to the game. Nobody supported. And he said, Jerry, will you just be my first advertisement out there, in the field on the, the backstop?
Yeah.
And he didn't advertise. He never wanted to, but okay, Skip, I'll do it. I still have the advertisement at home. It's just a simple little thing. But from that, where Skip was begging anybody to just advertise for us, to now,
you got to turn people away.
Yeah, you got to turn. They set
there's
the
a wait
market,
list,
right? It's just 30 years of transformation. It's really remarkable.
Oh, we used to call pitching timeouts because he needed to get to plug the camps. He's like, hey, Smoke, over out there to get a timeout so we can get the ads in.
Yeah, I mean, it was boots on the ground, very much boots on the ground. It's very much not boots on the ground as much anymore. Obviously, you have the same feel of it being family and being close-knit, and everybody. Dylan Cruz is here, #1 overall pick, playing professional baseball, but here, mingling with all the fans, you still get that feel, which I think is different from most places, right?
Yeah.
And I think that the growth, the success has not changed that.
Right.
And I think that's what makes LSU special.
And Coach Jay, let me tell you.
No pressure.
Man, that guy's different, too.
Yeah, he
in
is.
so many ways, right? I mean, the intensity he has, how he cares about these players and what's the better for them.
Yep.
And I'm trying to work deals with Jay, and he said, don't give it. Go to the kids. I don't want money. I mean, I'm like, oh, Coach, everybody wants money. No, I'm great. LSU took care of me. Take care of my kids.
And I think that's the new this day and age with the NIL and the transfer portal, right? You have to be willing to accept that as a coach.
Yeah.
And being able to build a relationship with him. I know you've been able to build a relationship with him. He very much has accepted that, understands what the culture of college sports is now, and understands it's about the player, and understands if the player is not happy, and he doesn't, and he deserves something, he should get it, and I think that's important.
That's right. No, we're fortunate to have him. I would expect to see great things over the next few years from him, and just because the type of person he is. It always starts there, right? With the character of your leader. Whoever's, you got to have a great one. Scott Woodward, right? We know him. You've got Kim Mulkey. You've got
Gordon
Jay. I
McKernan.
mean, you've got. It's crazy, right?
It is the leader trickles down, no doubt.
it does.
You take
Set
the
the
shape
tone.
and form of your leader,
That's
no
right.
doubt. And you couldn't ask for a better one on the baseball time. Football side's obviously doing well. Kim Mulkey's doing well.
Right.
Men's basketball starting to kind of turn around. So it feels like
safe to say the athletic
everything is
program's in
starting
a
to-
very, very,
Yeah.
very good spot.
no doubt. But
So
Thank
I'll
you.
let you go. I know y'all got to go. I'm thinking though, Accardo was football, curveball 257. He has a certain knowledge. We're talking about Ramsey Barfield.
I love that.
Who's a lawyer.
I'm glad you're doing
But
thinks
this.
he's a
he's
great
onto something like
baseball
this. I
player.
love this.
Ramsey was gifted. He always said that he would have
Gifted's a way
been.
to put it. Yeah.
He would have been a college player had he not hurt his elbow. So I'm thinking it'd be great to have him come
I
on
think
the
so,
show
too.
during
I agree.
the season.
I think so, too.
I
Right?
agree.
And he could participate, answer questions, and give your viewers updates about the law.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great partnership we did.
Yeah.
I appreciate
and,
that.
would love to offer Ramsey up to you if we can work something out.
I absolutely love that. I'm so happy that you said that because he was going to try to cop out of that.
But see,
I
he
know-
doesn't know that this is happening
I
right
know
now,
he
and I
was-
love this.
I know he was going to try to cop out, so now you
No, he's
can't.
got it. No, we put it out
You're
there,
locked
everybody.
in, buddy.
Yeah, you're on the schedule now.
I appreciate that. We'll be in contact, no doubt.
All right,
Thank you,
guys.
G. We'll see you around.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
sir.
Absolutely. Look, we gave you a little 10 extra minutes of our show. We appreciate you. Listen,
10x.
10X. Silent auction is up until 8:30. Go out there. The link and the tweet is pinned to our Twitter. Go out there and put some bids in. It's a lot of really good stuff. We appreciate the love and support. We will be around here throughout the course of the rest of the night.
Yep.
Me and Jay get to go on the stage. We'll have pictures and tweets and live tweets of the event. We appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in to this special edition of Mik'd Up. We'll be back live in studio tomorrow from 6 to 8 p.m. with Coach Jay Johnson in studio.
In studio.
Can't
In
go, what
studio.
could go wrong?
On
Nothing
site.
can go wrong. On
In the
site.
building. There you go.
We appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your night. Peace.
See you.